Hello, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. My name is Andrew Duncan with Cloud Adoption Solutions, and this is another installment of Trailblazers We Love. Today, we have the one and only Jeanne Moeller with us. Jeanne, thank you so much for being here, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for thinking of me as one of your favorite Trailblazers. I am Jeanne Moeller, and I am currently a business analyst with Simplest. I have been in the Salesforce community for about 5 years now. I love it. I think in cloud adoptions, you were one of the first oh God, shut up, Jeanne. You were one of the first companies that kind of took me under your wing and helped me navigate through the community and the ecosystem. And I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. And little is totally fine because we were such a little shop, and in so many ways we still are. We dream big, we think big, but little is a totally fine way to describe us. That makes perfect sense to me. It was just being enchanted at one point. So
yes.
So I guess if we're going to start from beginnings and start from a little place, how did you get your start in the Salesforce ecosystem? Like, what was it like to join and begin new?
I had been in curriculum and development for multiple years, and I was getting bored. I need to be constantly learning new things, and not short learns, but really dig my feet into it. And I knew I wanted to look into technology because it's constantly growing. And I started looking at Microsoft and some of the other websites and tools. But they were all really expensive to learn and to do the classes. I stumbled upon Trailhead, and that was it. I started with Trailhead. I connected with a couple people in the community, and then I learned about Salesforce. So I kind of did everything backwards, which is pretty much on par for my life. I kind of do everything the opposite way of everybody else. But yeah, I got my first certification and just networking.
It's amazing. And yeah, in Salesforce, we love that mission of, approachability and the way that they say, hey, we want everybody to have access to this and to be able to change their career and look at Salesforce. I know that's how a lot of the people internally at Cloud Adoption Solutions kind of fell into Salesforce. So that's a wonderful way to start. And it's a great journey. So I guess while we're on the topic of like Salesforce resources and, like getting involved in the curriculums and the Trailhead community, like what's your favorite resource? Like what's that Salesforce tool and resource that you're always going back to learn more?
Other than my network, because even though I'm a wicked introvert, I have amassed a wonderful, I call them my Ohana cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And there is such a wide variety of skills and knowledge and experience. So that's my first go-to. But other than that, I hate to say this, but Google is my friend.
Sure. Yeah.
And I love the Salesforce YouTubes and the videos because that's how I learn.
Yeah.
I want to watch somebody do it. I want to do it along with me.
Yeah.
It's either that or the documentation. But for learning how to do something, if I can't figure it out, YouTube videos. And not just from Salesforce, there's some other credible people out there that do videos as well.
Yeah, I think YouTube is a wonderful place to learn. That's why we, spend a lot of time making our YouTube videos, is because in a regular day, anything that I want to learn how to do, I'm looking it up on YouTube. Just even
right.
It's the best place to learn. I don't know how people learned before that. I guess you bought books. My dad told me when he was fixing up his first car, he went and bought a book on like a manual. And now anytime I want to do something in my car, I just look it up on YouTube.
Exactly.
So, it's a great learning tool. So I guess, that kind of moves us into our next segment of, what is an underrated Salesforce product to you, or a best kept Salesforce secret? I guess it doesn't have to be a product, but what's something to you that you feel like, man, I love this and not enough people know about it?
Another resource, I'm really big on resources because that's what helps me, because I'm the kind of person that wants to know everything.
Yeah.
And how to do everything. And that's just not possible with Salesforce. Sure. I'm going to say the Ohana Slack channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, it's an amazing group of people and all the different channels, nonprofit, sales, service. There's always somebody around that can help answer a question or help figure out, point you in the right direction. And to me, that's a really helpful tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could go on about App Exchange because there's some phenomenal things out there, but something that not a lot of people know about, or not enough people know about, is the Ohana Slack channel.
Yeah, and collaboration is the name of the game, right? I mean, anytime you get to have those conversations with people, it just broadens your horizons, and you never know what kind of opportunities lay out there, right?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah. So being plugged into the community and being a team player and a trailblazer like yourself, can you make a Salesforce prediction? Like, it's always so fun to kind of like think about what the future holds. Salesforce changes so rapidly. Do you have a prediction for maybe what you think the future might look like for Salesforce, or something that you could see coming?
I have heard it's coming, but I really think that Salesforce is going to start embracing business analysts in the Salesforce ecosystem. There's been talks about the certification, but I think it's going to be more than that. I think people are going to start to understand that the skills that are attributed to a business analyst can apply to anybody in any position. And I think you're going to see more of those foundational skills built in to more training and more courses. And I think we're going to have an awesome stuffed character eventually.
I hope
so. I don't know what it'll be, but yeah. I really, really think that they're going to embrace business analysts specifically for the Salesforce system.
That's great. And that's also a unique take that we haven't heard yet. So that's, not a prediction of, I think they're going to acquire a bunch of people, or I think, this might happen. Like, that's a very unique take and something that would be awesome because, business analysts do have such a huge amount of talent, and there's such a talent pool out there in ways that Salesforce could like really, push that forward. So yeah, that would be great. And a new stuffed animal character would also be great. Everybody loves those characters. It might be a bobcat or a badger. I mean, really, who knows? It could be anything at this point. So that would be really great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely, and I love the role of business analyst.
Yeah.
And I know we've got some really good companies behind this push.
Yeah.
So yep, that's my prediction.
That sounds great. So last thing to wrap it up, give us a thing that you're into right now. So it could be a podcast, music, a TV show, movie, whatever you're into right now that doesn't have to do with Salesforce. Let the people know, and maybe someone out there will have a common interest.
Well, this was a tough one because, I was like, well, that one's kind of lame. Maybe I should do something that sounds more impressive and more intelligent. So I was like, well, I'm going to do both. I have had the privilege of traveling to South Africa and go on safaris.
It's amazing.
To wildlife. And so there is a company that does virtual wildlife safari tours twice a day, and it's called Wild Earth. And it's rather addicting.
That is amazing. Yeah.
So that is my pleasurable one. And then to sound intelligent and actually investing in myself. And I don't know if this is going to be backwards, but someone had recommended this book to me, Trust Yourself.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And it's for imposters, introverts that are constantly doubting ourselves.
Sure.
And I've only started working on it. It says, stop overthinking and channel your emotions for success at work. But it's a really nice book because it gives you questions and check boxes and things to do and things to think about. It's not just solid reading.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've just started it. I love it. I really think it's going to help me develop myself. And, I can always apply that to my career.
Yeah, well, the first one was really cool. I think a virtual safari sounds wonderful. So we'll put a link to that in the bottom description.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, please do. And then additionally, I think, we'll also put a link to that book because I think a lot of people do deal with overthinking and levels of anxiety and emotions in the workplace. Yeah. And it wasn't until I feel like very recently that people started taking emotions and things like that in the workplace a little bit more seriously and started caring and looking for ways to not only better yourself, but better understand others and be more empathetic as well. So that sounds wonderful. I'll have to give that a try as well, because it sounds like a really helpful book. So thank you for, opening up and being honest and sharing with us.
Oh, I have no problem talking about being an imposter or my introverts. I'm a very sensitive person. And so that's what this book talks about, is I'm just a very emotional person.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not at all.
And, like you said, and I'm glad you mentioned that it is becoming more of a norm to talk about.
Yeah, it really is. And clients do really appreciate sensitivity and empathy too, as well. So it definitely, works out in other ways too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. We've gotten to know each other pretty well over the past couple of years, and it's always great to catch up and talk to you. What we'll do is real quick, give us a quick elevator pitch on what you have going on in the future for people to talk about. We'll put the links to your social media in the description, but what do you have going on? What's coming up in the next couple of months for Jeanne Moeller?
Well, actually, there is a 4-part blog series being put out by awesome admins. And I get to tell a little bit about my story, a little bit more than what you heard here, some of the trials and tribulations of getting a job in the ecosystem. I am not one of those overnight wonders.
Yeah.
And so I address what I went through, being off work, trying to network, the mental health, becoming stronger. Other than that, I hope to be attending Northeast Dreaming in April, and Midwest Streaming, sorry, Eric, Midwest Streaming and Witness Success in July. And other than that, just hanging out and helping others and being a business analyst.
Great. That's perfect. Thank you so much. We'll put descriptions for everything that you just mentioned in the bio, and hopefully someone reaches out and they see you at either Northeast or Midwest Streaming. Eric is another person that we've had on this segment as well, so he'll be happy to see you there. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we really appreciate having a conversation with you. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Andrew with Cloud Adoption Solutions, a 100% women-owned Salesforce partner. If you do have Salesforce questions, please do reach out to us. We'll have our links in the bio, and you can go ahead and reach out to us if you do have Salesforce questions. If you have questions for Jeanne, please do reach out to her on her social media. I know she's always around to help answer questions if you have them. So it's been another great episode and installment of Trailblazers We Love. Thank you so much for being here, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew.